living a little bit less ordinary, 100%.
Take the reins.
Admit
your 20 things that you've got in your mind.
Right, moving on. Welcome back to another episode of the Less Ordinary podcast.
Nice, Angus.
All four of us in the booth. Trey sitting here with lots of ill will. He doesn't want to be here. He wishes he was somewhere else. He's furious. He's tired.
Yeah.
What are we talking about today, Gus?
We'll get to the topic, but we got to touch on a few things first. Firstly, what's been going on this week? Obviously, no podcast last week.
Can we talk about why?
Yeah, we have to.
You need to talk about why.
I'd go as far as saying one of the craziest fuck ups on your end
Ever.
because you don't normally drop a ball like that, and that was a huge ball drop.
Something he was so excited for too.
That's what breaks my heart the most. Is probably
breaks my heart.
the longest time we've tried to G that up, and we put some effort. Like that took. We sort of had to move a few mountains to get that
that'll never
done.
line up again.
It'll never happen again, I'll be honest. You'll never get that opportunity again.
Ever. That's done.
Well,
ship has sailed.
Give us some context, Gus.
To be fair, we have not yet confirmed that's what's happened. We're assuming.
Hang on. What are you thinking could have helped?
I don't know.
What do you mean?
I've just taken responsibility.
But how could it be
and
anyone else's
assumed-
fault?
Can I just chime in here and just go, you two are talking to the listeners, so we need some context.
All
What
right.
happened?
Last week, we're up. We've been trying to tee up for ages a podcast with Trey's little brother Ocean, who is a professional surfer. He's a two-time Aussies champion, ISA champion. He's a champion. He's fucking shreds. And yeah, we were up. We did a podcast with him. It was a really good one, and at the end of it, we think I took the SD card out of the podcast machine and have misplaced it. We've searched the accommodation, the car, retraced our steps on the beach, everywhere. It is erased from the face of the earth.
Was there ever one in there?
So tell me, is that what you're thinking?
No, it was definitely in there. But I don't remember, like, taking it out and losing it, obviously.
So
but
what-
I'm taking responsibility
you-
because I think that's what must have happened.
But are you thinking, when you say you think, you actually think there's a chance that
I don't
Cam
know.
took it out?
No,
or
no,
I
no.
took it
I'm
out?
not trying to blame someone else.
No, I'm not saying that. But what do you give me
He's
one
got
other option?
no
of what's
real
happened?
recollection.
You know
at
when
all.
you remember, you know when, like, I wasn't in the car and I went, oh, fuck, the SD card, I took it out. It was like I went to go get it out of here and I was like, it's not in there. That's weird. Where is it? And then you know when you start having memories and you don't know if it's an actual memory or you've created it?
It's because
It was sort of like that.
The thing
And I
I'll
was
say
like,
is though
hang on.
that can't fall out.
No, it did
So
not fall out.
you had to have taken it out.
This is my chain of events, I think, and the probabilities. I think 90-10, I took it out. Even 95-5, I
Love
took
to
it
hear
out.
the 5.
And then
Holy fuck.
like 50-50
50-50
memory of getting in
of the 5% chance of this.
No, like that's 95-5 that I took it out. I'm pretty sure I took it out.
Yeah, so the 5%.
And then the
chance-
memories get more vague and don't know if they're real or created.
I feel like you
And
were
then I-
making shit up in your head to nearly justify it.
I was trying to trace it, the pieces
I'm sitting
together.
there, I'm going to Gus, I'm going, if you were to take it out of the potty deck right now, where the fuck would you take it? And he's like, I don't know.
That didn't make sense.
It just
That
didn't
didn't
make- I
make
don't know why I would have
Super-
taken it out.
It sucked.
It's a bit sus.
It sucked heaps because
But
it was
yeah.
a good potty. Gus ran the whole thing and it was smooth sailing. It was like, yeah, I don't know. It was just good to hear like a perspective on that side of things.
And he's a really good kid. He's fucking super locked in for his age. He's super impressive.
yeah,
He's
there was
doing
like a
things
bit to take from it, even if from like an older listener. I feel like there was like, oh, this is actually pretty
inspirational.
cool. And then we fucking lost it.
No,
And
really
we
disappointed.
lost all the audio.
He gave us his time. We were super keen to do it. It was a great episode, but
I
it is
trained
what
with
it
Cody
is.
this Arvo, and he reckons that he will be able to bring back a little bit off the DJI, but there's a lawnmower in the background that runs the whole
Yeah.
fucking time.
Cody
Yeah, I
messaged-
remember that.
I sent it. Do you? Because
Yeah.
I don't.
I remember that going off.
I
yeah.
Your
sent him-
memory's going, Gussie, I think.
Yeah, I do. I actually thought we were going to have to stop.
I sent him the audio, and he texted me back 10 minutes later, and he's like, was there someone mowing the lawn? And I was like, no. And he sent me a timestamp, and it's so loud, and I have zero memory of there being any distractions.
You were that
or
locked into the
sounds.
potty, bro.
I was
It's a
sweating bullets on
it's a
the
full
next
lost
question.
cause. But apologies to Ocean for that one.
Yeah, apologies, Ocean. Obviously, we didn't have one up for a week, so
He'll never listen anyway now.
But 5% was probably your fault. That
He's-
5%.
he's got so much ill will towards this podcast
Yeah,
now.
absolutely.
He's going.
What else is happening? You can't say that on the podcast.
There's not enough context.
You
Chaz.
gotta-
They'll never draw the dots.
Now we have to be.
You gotta
They'll
cut
never
that.
draw the dots.
You have to cut that.
It says you naming, shaming people, calling them out for their comments and telling them, pulling up photos saying they look fucked.
Yeah, but that was like a clear cut moment.
I had to chop it all out.
Sometimes you'd say shit, but you know it's going to get cut. That was one of them.
Anyway, what else has been happening? Current events. Obviously, what we were doing some shit harder. You're away
Yeah.
for a 4-day bucks bender.
Yeah, 4-day bucks bender in Melbourne.
Sort of fourth bucks for the same guy.
Yeah,
you could
he's
say.
been a bit of a carry on for old
True.
KP. Shout out to KP.
That's
Oh my
unreal.
There's, yeah.
Yeah, shout out to KP and the boys. Unreal weekend. Still feeling it.
How's the head noise?
It's just coming good, eh? McGregor, one of the boys, is still. He reckons the ground's spinning. He's got all this vertigo still. So McGregor's he's in all sorts.
Greg's.
Not much sleep was had for a couple of nights.
Nah. It's a few good nights. So yeah, shout out to the boys and Carl Stefanovic highlights.
I'm not even asking.
Don't ask.
Move on. Sleep. I want to go, before we get into our topic, the last potty we did, we were talking about our biggest blunders and we asked the audience to send in theirs for the winner to get a merch pack.
The listeners.
We got a few.
We got a
crackers.
few really good ones. A few of them are really long, so I don't want to play them.
Are you gonna go? Can you do A Brick first?
No,
'Cause he's not the winner?
Singular Brick sent one in, and he's too close to home, so he can't win. But he's an honourable mention, which I'll play at the end.
So you've chosen a winner.
I've chosen a winner. So the best one, and a few of them sent in photo evidence to back up their story. Ooh. So I've gone with.
Well, I think the boys did ask for B-roll, so that's
Yeah.
Because you could make up some shit.
Oh yeah, I'm
I
just
would.
trying to find you.
We even
um,
said chuck the mayo on it, like
Yeah,
load it up, sauce it up.
Man, I think we said Hardy the fuck out of it.
Yeah,
Yeah, Hardy, joust it up.
Sauce it up.
Joust it up.
Just it up, baby.
That's a quick honourable third place. No one can. I'll B-roll it, but
what's that?
old mate, this guy I wanted to play. He's
What's he got a troopy and a tin?
How's he
He's
not won
Josh.
it?
He's Josh Basilar. He had his I listened to his memo. He had the troopy and the tinny, and he has
Has he
gone
tried
over
to-
like one of those narrow bridges where you got to give way, and someone's just come flying the other way. So his only option was to go down into the creek.
He's just shot it down into the scrub.
What's the guy who's won? That's a crazy fuck up.
Well, yeah, how is
Done
that?
something
This
fun.
one's pretty funny.
Right, let it
sorry,
rip.
I'm trying to find him here. Generally,
That's
is
pretty
it
fucking
gone?
big blunder, bro. Just running it
Oh.
off. That's a good
Is that a write-off almost?
Nah, I don't think so.
That's a good 6 meter drop into the creek.
Here we go.
You thought it was
Connor White.
gunshot, eh?
Connor White, first place. You've won. We'll send out a merch pack. I'll B-roll this, his photos to the group, but I'll quickly show the boys for reference. I'll play the story. But yeah, anyway,
Righto.
I'll play his memo.
Lads, how we going? Hope you're all well. Fucking froth the body. Just sending in my blunder. Grab a fizz and fucking strap in. A few months ago, me and a good mate of mine, Jimbo, decided to enter a barra comp out of Karratha, where we live. Neither of us had ever caught a barra before in our life. So we thought it was a fucking grouse idea. We'd jump on, have a crack. Fished on Saturday, caught fuck all, as expected.
As you do.
And then we decided we'd treat ourselves with a few pints that night. And I think we rolled up at about 3:30, 4 o'clock. Hit the bed and then alarms went off at 5:30, jumped up, fucking loaded the boat again, dropped her in, shot up one of the creeks, got some live bait, and then decided we'd go and fish the creek mouth with some liveys. On our way out of the creek, we come around one of the last bends in the creek, and we're boogieing, and then we got a bit excited, so Jimbo jumped up, to grab us a can each out of the esky that was sitting in the back of the boat. And I've come around this bend and there was a boat anchored in the middle of the creek. So I fucking threw the boat in neutral as quick as I could and swerved to go around the fella. But it was too late. I heard the prop clip on something. I turned around to look out the back of the boat to see what it was, and all I see is me fucking 6'5", 120 kilo mate just get launched from the back of the boat all the way to the front. He's fucking launched into the front of the cab. Got shit mixed. This fucking live mullet jumping around everywhere. All their beers, all their ice, everything's just gone tits up. And then made sure Jimbo was all good, and then I jumped out and went to push the boat back in to the middle of the creek and jumped out and realised we were sitting in 2 inches of water. Quickly checked the tides and unfortunately found out the tides were running out.
Oh, so he's
we
fucking
sat there
stuck.
for 8 hours. Pick us back up again, and then we drove back to the boat ramp just in time for presentation at 6 o'clock. And we got the biggest fuck up award. And I went home with a pair of insult fishing sunnies, and Jimbo went home with a throbbing headache.
Shit
That
mixed
is
my
fucking-
new
Yeah,
favourite
bro,
saying.
shit mixed.
Got absolutely shit mixed.
That's a fucking perler.
Oh, fuck, that's good.
Fuck, but
It's
He got a
sa-
set of sunnies and Jimbo went home with a headache.
It's safe.
Well,
It's safe to say that they probably just sat on that bank getting pissed.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
I hope they had a
Yeah.
few
Like I
cans
reckon they
left.
would have almost rinsed all the beers. Like God knows how many they
100%.
had out there.
Yeah.
Probably not enough.
rolled into Prezzo night
But
fairly
caught
dusty.
no fish. Just sat in the sun all day.
Well, he's actually.
fucked
I'll
his boat.
I'll B-roll the footage he sent me, but they're like, as the tide must have dropped further. There's like sand 10 meters in all directions, and they're just casting from the boat into the water, waiting for the tide.
Shout out to Jimbo.
Yeah,
eh?
Jimbo. Jimbo, I hope your head's feeling better,
Yeah,
brother.
good on you, Jimbo.
He sounds like he's a big horse as well.
Yeah, sounds like he got fully
6'5",
shit
120 kg shit mix. That would have fucking. That's some
I'd
damage.
love to have a beer with them boys. Yeah.
Yeah.
They sound fucking unreal.
mixed. But
Oh, that's a great winner.
yeah, that is a good winner. We'll send out a merch pack.
I just like the way he told the story. I like the point. He's like,
He was heaps calm about it.
Yeah,
eh?
sounds disappointed.
His breath work was
Yeah.
immaculate.
There was almost a bit of ill will there.
that was unreal.
He used shit mixed and tits up in the same sentence too.
Immaculately. I just want to play honourable mention, singular brick.
Sensational vocabulary. From the
Yeah,
bloke.
well done.
Karatha
Bricula?
based as well.
What's that?
Karatha based in the northwest there.
Yeah.
G'day lads, Matt here, big fan of your work. Look, I wanted to jump on and give my biggest blunder.
Sorry, I've accidentally played that sped up and made him sound like the biggest gimp.
Oh, fucking
How
sorry.
has he done that?
Sorry, I don't
I just
know.
pictured him there with a hot chocky.
Sorry.
He sounded so happy with the two.
G'day lads, Matt here, big fan of your work. Look, I wanted to jump on and give my biggest blunder. So we'd had a trip to Morton booked for about 6 months in advance. We get to the week of the trip and they declare a cyclone for southeast Queensland. Cat 3, full-on project it was. Anyway, we decided to make the trip up from Sydney anyway. I actually reached out to Camo before. I said, hey mate, we've got a cyclone en route. Is it going to be okay? He said, mate, we've done it before. By all means, go ahead. You'll have no dramas.
By all
We arrived on
means.
the island. It was all fucked. We tried to get off pretty much the day after we got there, but all barges were completely booked out. At this point, we're thinking we're completely fucked and en route to death.
On your camo.
All I can think about is why the fuck did Cam from West Ordinary send me here? He's got no idea what he's talking about. Anyway, we get to the next day and they actually release an emergency MyCat to get people back to land. We're like, fuck this, we're getting out of here. And we did. We got on the emergency barge and fucked right off. Anyway, then headed down to Foster. Little did we know, Foster's the crime capital of the east coast of Australia, and had all my fucking rods stolen. At that point I said, fuck this, I'm going home. And that was it. The week-long trip was turned into a few days and a lot of fucking fuel. Anyway, keep up the good work, fellas.
Shout out to the Chaz. Go ahead, brother. I've done it 3 times. You'll be fine.
And I'm sitting here, and all I can think is, why the fuck did Cam from West Ordinary send me here?
Foster the crime capital of the East Coast.
I've got to quickly piss. Chat amongst yourselves.
That is
like to
fucked
make
that all his
a-
rods actually got stolen after all that as well.
I'd like to make a public apology to the single brick on that whole situation. Massive bum steer on my behalf.
You weren't lying, but you've done it twice.
In a cyclone, yeah, I have. Obviously not as bad as one E-copped.
Emergency mic.
Yeah, bro. Fuck, it's out of control.
Oh my god.
I remember the phone call too, and I was just like, Psh, yeah, mate, just run it. She'll be right. Fucking piece of piss. Take your gazebo.
That's a crazy luck as well from Sydney to Morton. That's like 10 hours of driving, 8 hours of driving.
More, I think.
Yeah,
It's
so 10
From
hours.
Penrith.
Yeah, he gets there, gets the barge over, sets up for one night, gets emergency back,
Foster, rod stolen.
going home.
How's he?
Do you know, not to mention he, mate had the car accident in front of him on the way home from Foster as
Yeah,
well. That
rolled
same
the
story,
car,
rolled the
yeah,
caravan
true.
and shit.
Imagine
When he,
how many nuggets he air fried on the way to
Oh,
Right. Have we talked on the potty about him on the side of the highway with the nuggets?
I don't think so.
So single brick, he's got an air fryer inside his canopy in his ute. And where was it?
We
Up to
went
Sinclair?
No, we went wakeboarding at Sinclair. Yeah.
And we came on the way home. We saw him pulled over on the side of a freeway, like people flying past you doing 120, so dangerous, trucks and shit. And he's outside fucking around, and we were like, "Fuck, is he all right?" And we ring
Thought
him.
he was broken down.
Yeah, thought he was fucking had dramas, and he's not to mention he's towing a fucking wake setter, which is worth like $150,000
$250.
on the side of the
Do you remember
highway.
his exact words when we rang him?
No,
He goes, bro, when you hear
when you hear the
when you
ding.
hear the ding, you've got to
Gotta
pull over.
stop. The cunt's on the side of the highway getting these chicken nuggets out of his air fryer. And we were like, holy fuck, bro, we thought you were in serious trouble. He's like, mate, when you hear the ding, you got to stop.
Shout out the single fucking brick.
Oh,
Brick killer.
one of the best to ever do it. Single brick.
The absolute greatest. But anyway, moving on.
so Connor's the champion though.
Connor wins.
So Connor's, we're gonna
Bring
get his address, send him a merch
we'll
back
get his info.
over.
I'll reach out. And yeah, we'll send some shit out.
I think I want to give Jimbo
Yeah.
like a double XL shirt
For sure.
Like if he might squeeze
Yeah.
it.
for a
Yeah.
big horse.
Yeah, for a big horse.
We
Like
dropped some
Jimbo.
merch, shit mixed.
Yeah.
Jimbo's been shit
We need
mixed.
a-
Jimbo's shit mixer.
Yes.
The Canalita shit mixer.
Jimbo's own line.
God, Brick was he was a contender there. If we
Oh,
didn't, if
bro.
he wasn't part of the crew, and he sort of can't win that cunt, but
I was losing it when he said
that was
I
a
couldn't
pearl
play
of
it for you
fucking
before.
story. Yeah, fuck. I'm glad you didn't.
But getting on to our
fuck.
topic for the episode, wanted to talk about our origin story, not the nitty gritty business side of it, but just how we all met, because we haven't all known each other for a very long time, and how everyone got dragged into it, essentially. So,
Where do we even start
and
with that?
sacrificed their whole life.
yeah.
Pretty
So
much.
It was probably a lot to do with you.
you were
Yeah.
you
It
were
was
I think it's
probably-
all to do with Jack.
It was
really.
probably the first and last thing you've actually ever done.
I was mate.
you did your part there. right?
I started the whole
you
show.
can, you can put your feet up now.
Well, I guess I knew
And he
all,
does. Don't he?
all individually.
Fucking
Yeah.
fade her up.
Well,
Like-
can I?
Yeah, go.
From my recollection of event, not claiming any responsibility at all here.
50-50.
Yeah, like 90, 95-5.
Yeah, 90 to 5.
I could have started the whole thing, but I don't remember for sure. So I remember I was away with my mates from school camping, and I sort of pitched an idea to start this alcohol brand and use giveaways to promote it. And it got fully shot down in flames. And I was like, fuck, I'm onto something here, right? And I was driving home and I rang Jack and sort of pitched it to him. And he was a bit weird and he was a bit cagey. And he's like, yeah, nah. Hang up the phone. I was like, fuck, maybe this is a shit idea. He rings me back a couple hours later. He's like, bro, Fuego. I'm already doing a tequila. Do you want in? And I was like, yes, let's go. He's like, meet me at this place at this time, hangs up on me. I got to go. So then we go balls deep into Fuego, which we've talked about. We won't go into that anymore. Sort of fizzled out.
It's a tequila brand that you wanted to start.
Yeah.
Tequila brand practically with me, Gus, and 2 other guys.
Yeah.
And we were doing, we talked about it on the potty with the boys, but we were talking about doing like
Raptors.
500 fucking yacht parties on like giving away Ford Raptors and all sorts of
We
shit.
were a direct competitor to Verlander. Extra slim tees.
Yeah.
And then,
Kendall Jenner and shit.
so we were sort of left with our dicks in our hands and we were like, nah, there's got to be something we could do. We started sort of mapping out the giveaway shit. And then Hardy.
Is this off the back of seeing people like Adrian Portelli
Yeah.
profiting?
Yeah.
Is that sort of where, like, if you
100%.
gone, fuck, this
Yeah.
cunt's killing it?
Anyone who is claiming that did not take inspiration from him is a fucking lie.
I would,
He's the
say,
OG.
I would say 50% of it was from that, and then 50% of the inspiration was because we just fucking hated being at work.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. We were trying to come up with new shit, new, authentic, but like
Yeah, everything starts somewhere.
anyone,
draw
everyone
some inspiration.
is drawing inspiration from Adrian. One fucking
sure.
1,000%.
He's
But
the
it-
OG.
But then Hardy's sort of Hardy's ticking away, and Hardy's reached out to Cam. And he's like, he's like head hunting people at this point.
So-
he's got a vision.
It was crazy because me and Cam actually knew each other from a bar of soap. Like hardly knew each other.
We went to the same school.
Sorry, you
Went to the
did.
same
You
school.
did know each
We
other
didn't-
from a bar of
no,
soap.
we didn't know each other
No
from a
bar
bar
of
of
soap.
soap. No bar of soap.
No ill will.
We're soapless.
They knew each other from a bar.
says no one ever. We didn't
So
know
it's
each
fully
other.
soapless.
Sorry, boys.
Were you the year below me?
Yeah, I was
At
a year
school?
below, but I also only went to that school for about a year.
Fucking hated you
when
when I
I-
was at school. You sucked, cunt. I was like walking past you in the halls. I was going, look at this fucking post.
He would have been rolling the shoulders, eh?
Yeah, like rolling the shoulders. There was like little trail of honeys chasing him all the time. I was going, fuck you, eh?
He's
Like,
like,
just typical
he's
school.
like,
Oh,
sorry, I gotta go, message Cheney.
Yeah. Little AFL prodigy. I was like, fuck off, mate. You're 4 foot tall, guy.
Yeah, safe to say you had buckets of ill will towards
Yeah.
him.
Oh,
buckets
mate,
of
it was
ill will.
out of control. But anyway, so I never really had much to do with you. But then you were mates with one of my good mates, Winnie.
Heaney.
Yeah, so Liam, Liam was like one of my best mates, and then obviously one of Camo's best mates as well. So I knew that they sort of knew each other, and then I ended up living like wall to Camo. So there was just a wall in between.
Yeah, the
me and
apartment next
the
door,
apartment
yeah.
next door. So
Where you would hear the bass rattling till 3 a.m.
which is fucking insane. That bass was out of control.
For context to the listeners, you would watch Harry Potter with like a sub turned up to 1,000, and you'd be in Hardy's
Yeah.
apartment just hearing all the spells crack and shit.
And I fucking
Going
hate
woo,
Harry
woo, woo,
Potter.
vibrating the
Harry Potter's
walls.
So fucking sus.
No, Jack, that's another topic. Don't
Listen,
even
the
start.
question is Harry Potter good or is Harry Potter shit?
Harry
'Cause
Potter-
Jack and
Harry
I
Potter.
stand by Harry Potter sucks so
You're
bad.
We do it. No, I want to do a
fucking idiot.
I want to do a
cunt.
poll on this. Harry Potter. Can you send it into you? Can we just send
Oh,
it
I
into
can
the
do
potty?
a poll it up.
We'll poll up. We'll put a story up. Me and Trey. Harry Potter fucking sucks. Bunch of virgins. These boys. They are a bunch of virgins. The reason I didn't get along with him at school.
So you're calling Harry Potter is a virgin? That's the poll.
Well,
yes,
Cam
no.
didn't lose his virginity till his mid-20s.
Yeah, it was like 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
Are you saying is the poll is Harry Potter good or is Harry Potter a virgin? Yes, no. Is that the poll?
No, all right, 2 polls. Is Harry Potter good or is Harry Potter shit? Second poll.
Is he a virgin?
Is Harry
Harry
to this
actually a
day.
virgin?
Is Potter a virgin?
I reckon Harry fucks, eh?
shit.
He's not playing with his wand. I fucking guarantee it. Guarantee it.
All right, continue.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, anyway, I didn't know Jack from fucking, what do we say? From a bar of soap.
From a bar of
I
soap,
did know you about soap. Anyway, I was doing a bit of work in Winnie's yard. I was doing a heap of earthworks for him, and then haven't spoken to Jack like in my life. Actually, I think we'd realised that we lived next door to each other. And it's like quick message, like, "Hey, bro, like, yeah, same apartment, yeah."
I think I
fine."
actually messaged you and I was like, hey, bro, I'll come up for a beer or something.
Yeah. You were like, "Hey, bro, I'm going to come over for a beer," and I was like, "Oh, fuck, like, this is a punishment. You can't really say no."
Yeah, it's
So
a
I was
full
like,
punish up.
Oh, like,
that sucks.
Yeah, I
This
was like,
cunt's coming
can't
over
say
here.
no. So the cunt comes over and doesn't bring any beer. He just fucking assumed I had beer, but he sits down and he's like, "Oh, you sort of been doing a bit of work for Winnie and stuff." He's like, "Oh, you know, are you keen to do a bit of work for me? Like, jump on the digger and do a bit of shit." And anyway, in doing that, I agreed to do it, was how I met Gus.
Did
Because-
not like me either.
Did not like
hated
you.
Gus, bro. He hated Gus.
There was
So
a
much-
fucking heap of stormwater pipes in the ground, which I tore to absolute shreds. They were fucking 3 inches under the grass.
They're pretty shy.
So then Jack rings Gus and goes, Gus is obviously a plumber, goes, hey, bro, can you come and fucking, for free, come and fix me shit, please?
Hey, bro, how are you? By the way, I need something.
What? Oh yeah, I might add as well. Like this was a Saturday, and Camo's come and helped, which is like amazing. And then I just randomly called Gus on a Saturday at about 1 o'clock saying, bro, I need you right now. There's water fucking flying like 5 foot up in the air.
You banged it on heaps too. You were like, I'm just going to put some jouse on it and get him here. Get him out of here. Then he's here.
There's a
He'll just do it.
subsidence. There's a big subsidence.
So, but
Nailed it
your
up.
plan hadn't come together yet. From you hadn't you like LO?
No, this
never
is
thought.
this was well
this was
before the
well
whole.
before.
This
This is
is
how we met.
before Fuego.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we've gone back.
This is
from
just
there.
back,
So,
yeah.
okay.
So, yeah,
I
so
think it
Gus,
is. Maybe
you come
not.
out and fixed up the stormwater pipes.
Yeah.
And you were just giving me stick.
I don't
about
think
hitting
I
them.
was.
You were.
I
and
wasn't,
sitting there
Chaz.
You
and
fucking were.
Was I?
Yeah,
I was sitting there and this digger just gone,
Because knowing Cam now, he would hate that.
I was
But it would have
seething,
been
bro.
like
You would have been.
You could
like,
know now. Like
It was like it was.
it would have
funny.
been friendly.
You
I
were
would have
like-
been trying to make friends with
Yeah,
you.
you
and you'd be
were.
like,
But like
fuck
knowing
you.
his personality, he would have been sitting there going, "This cunt."
You were saying shit like this. You were like, "Oh, Cam, I think there's one there if you want to smoke it."
And I was just sitting there. You can imagine me going, not funny. I was sitting there going, fuck you. And it was tearing me apart.
I would have been genuinely like trying to form a bond with you, and you would have been like, "Fuck you."
You were trying to find your bar of soap with Cam.
Yeah,
Bro,
I
I
was
remember
searching for
you
it.
left. You'd fixed it. I hit another one and I was like, oh, fuck, he's going to come back.
Funny as bro. I seen
You'll
him
got,
hit one.
you'll get head noise about what I'm going to say. When
I
get
reckon I
there.
can narrow it down to when he hit that one. He hits it, and then I just see him go black ice out of the pocket and just go.
Yeah.
Yeah. The black ice days. So the main takeaway from that is die before you dig, people. But
Absolutely. I came back 100 times. Shout out,
fucking did,
Chaz.
eh?
Long story short of it, that all happened, and like me and Gus had this idea in the background, and then I got to know Camo and that like a fair bit more, and me and him started getting along like a house on fire. And then
You still owe me for that weekend.
I do, yeah. Do you come back and do a little bit more?
I've been back since, bro. Like, it was the worst
You were
thing I
there
ever
the
did.
other day, weren't you? Yeah.
But it like come to it that like they're the sort of blokes you want to be in business with, the blokes that come and help you on a Saturday when when you're fucking struggling and you need a bit of shit done on your investment
So
property.
that
Bit
was
of
your
subsidence.
that was
Bit
your
of subsidence.
mantra. It was not necessarily like you wanted to start a business, but you were like, I don't want to get into business with
business people.
necessarily people who are good at business. I want
Yeah.
to get into business with good people who necessarily
Whether or
don't-
not
don't
that's
sort of know shit.
a good idea or not.
Fuck knows, but
It
we're
was
still
also-
You
here.
don't know.
We're
Like a
still
little
here.
bit, it was a takeaway from not shitting on anyone else. They had valid points, and it's why it didn't happen. But everything that happened before, we were like, "Yep, sweet, that's all fucked." But like, let's just do it. Let's go. Like, we were like, let's go.
100%. Well, me and you had then
And you were the same.
me and
you
you
were
had then
very-
had that conversation about like turning it into more like the
Events.
events and fucking
Yeah.
giveaways and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I remember it was like 10 o'clock at night on like a Tuesday or something. And I messaged Cam. I was
You had a
like,
light bulb.
You
yeah, I
rang
was like,
me.
boom. I rang him. I was like, downstairs, car park, 10 minutes.
and hang up on. He does the hang up thing.
No, it's I gotta go.
Yeah.
He rings you.
Yeah, and then he's like, I
Goes,
gotta
yeah,
go.
no, I gotta go. Bang. hang
Meet
up.
me in the car park in 5 minutes. I got to go. So I'm going fuck again. Like, and I knew you at this stage. I'm going fuck.
You're like, should I
what do you
take some
want?
beers down?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Need some beers.
I can't even remember. Do you remember what I said?
I don't really remember. I remember I was leaning on the back of your ute in the underground car park, and you, I don't know. Anyway, you come over and had a conversation. You were like, I want to start a giveaway business. And I was like, righto, let's fucking go.
You
And the
were
rest was history.
Pretty crazy that you just were on board.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
I
was.
don't understand.
straight off the bat, like back then, our whole business model then was obviously completely different. But at the time, our concept was unique. And like that concept now is like saturated
It's done everywhere.
to
yeah.
the fuck house.
What was
Yeah.
the original
Well,
concept?
it was it was our early days to a degree, and we were like, we are onto something here. And by the time we got our ducks in a row, saturated as
I
fuck.
feel like it's what we're doing now, but we just never really, that was the concept, but we never got to that concept, if that makes sense.
but initially,
I would strongly disagree with that.
yeah,
I sort of don't know.
we
I don't
always,
even-
we always wanted to do a subscription-based giveaway thing.
Yeah.
But we never
Yeah.
did
But
it.
big
until
ticket
now.
items was always
big
the
ticket
case.
items, exactly.
It was just like
But
you were going to
more-
give
it
away
was-
cars and shit.
it's the
It
same
was more
concept,
or less
different.
the whole lifestyle content approach to the giveaways.
Exactly.
Which is now fucking obviously smoked.
There was some wild shit in the works back in the days.
But-
Remember we were flying to the Goldie and the Bug Smasher and we were picking
Yeah.
up troopies.
Yeah,
and all
Boydie
sorts
was.
of
Yeah. But
Shout out to Lewis Boyd.
Yeah, but you, Chaz, you obviously saw the value and you were keen. And you were nest egg to the gills at the time. So you were like,
Camo
Camo
was-
was, Camo was the richest bloke in
but
Newcastle.
Cam sort of came in as like this. You were just as keen and you were motivated, but you were also at the same time the voice of reason.
Yeah,
Like
I
me
remember
and Jack were
shutting
sort
this
of
down, yeah.
head in the clouds, and you were sort of conservative, and we would meet in the middle. And thank fuck we did because
Yeah.
we'd just scrape by.
Yeah.
Like if we were up here, we'd be fucked.
We'd be bankrupt.
And then that was in the pipeline. We went to beer. We got our business. We like fast forward. We're like making moves.
I don't know if I can say the beer. Fuck you.
I'll bleep that. I'll bleep that.
Let's fast forward.
Yeah, fast forward to Trouse.
To-
I want to get to Trouse.
So the Bizzo was probably going for, I don't know, we weren't doing a fucking whole lot. We thought we were doing heaps, but well, I don't know, maybe 6 months, maybe?
yeah.
We
For con-
sort of went on a good trip. We went to Pebbly Beach. We took Trey on the trip to do a bit of fishing content.
No,
with.
but
He come
even
to help out.
even like pre that, you'd done you'd just gone out for 3 days with Cody, filmed like a heap of crazy content.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we did all that locally too, which was sick. Like we just did 3 different things. We did a wakeboarding day. We did like a day in the lake, and then did we do an offshore day?
Yeah.
And then we did
Yeah,
an offshore
diving,
day, diving
jumping
and
off
stuff.
diving.
And then
all that shit
at
come
that
together.
point
Awesome.
was the ski was the whole plan still
Yeah.
All
at that
along.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, we
plan-
just thought we'd go on a trip, shoot a bit of fishing content. We took the ski.
But there was no personal side to that. That was all
Nah.
just like cinematic.
None
Yeah,
whatsoever.
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Which we quickly learned is so out of date and
Yeah.
would have never got us anywhere.
Yeah.
But
So
yeah,
fun,
so
bro.
Trey come on this trip with us for a couple of days, helped us shoot a bit
Well,
of
how
content.
did I even meet you prior to that? I was
Cody.
like,
It
Through-
was
it would have been through Matt, just through
Yeah,
Matt.
I
it
think
was at
it was-
Barbolo.
yeah, Barbolo. I'd met you. I'd met Gus, and then
I
I
remember-
met him for the second time, and I was like, I thought me and Gus like sort of got along the first time. So I was like, hey, bro, how are you? And he just went, hey, nice to meet you.
Oh,
Oh,
I still to
gosh.
this
And it was
day-
like one of them things where like when I left that conversation the first time, I was like, oh, we had a moment.
Like,
we
yous
had-
could be
shared,
something.
We shared something.
Where was
then.
it? When was it?
That was at the Prince, I believe.
Is there any chance I was lit up?
No,
and
I
haven't
don't know.
known
There's,
it?
if you're at the Prince, you are lit up.
I
for
don't
sure.
know. I don't know. Either-
To be honest, if we met for the first time, we would have vibed 100%. And I would have walked away thinking the same thing.
Yeah, but you
But I
didn't.
must have no memory of it.
Do you know what's interesting? I just sort of come to my mind. Sort of like knew him, you're a fucking poser. Knew him,
You're a
you're a
shit dog.
fuckwit. I met you. I was kind of like, he's kind of alright.
Yeah, we got along well.
we got along
I
alright.
reckon.
Don't
was
play
going on there?
favourites.
Well, I didn't get along with you. You didn't even remember who I
Hey, do you want me
was.
to help
But
you stop
now-
choking on Trey's
Yeah.
cock?
But now I'm thinking, did you maybe think I was a bit fucked at the time?
Nah. I think I got around everyone. So like I met Gus that night, and I was like, nice to. Then he's like, nice to meet you, and I went, oh fuck, and we sort of laughed out loud. We were like, oh, I met ya.
I remember
And you were
we
like,
were
oh, hi, yeah, and everyone sort of laughed. But you're pretty awkward, like in those
I-
situations, and you got pretty awkward.
Thanks, man. I remember being locked in at the Prince talking about troopies and shit. Was that the first or second time? Because I
Nah,
remember
that was
the
that was at
second
the
time.
bowler. That time we were talking about the cars, because then Ches.
No,
Chez
I'm
was into
certain
his-
it was the Prince
Well,
balcony.
yeah, like, you don't remember meeting me the first time.
You're a pretty unmemorable guy.
Unmemorable sort of dude. Yeah.
You'd have been like, oh yeah,
That's hurt you a bit,
that
eh?
little Trey
That's
guy.
never. You've never let that go.
Is that?
I sort of
is
had
that
let it go
what's
until 5 seconds
Is that
ago.
what's standing in
Furious
between
about
us?
it. There's nothing in between us. Anyway, I'm gonna continue.
Is that what all the ill
met
will is
Gus? Then like same night Cam was there. I don't think I'd met Cam properly, but I knew that Jack was in business with Cam. Obviously, I was close with Jack, so I made the effort. Went and said hello to Cam, and obviously I was driving the 75 series at the time, and you're into your cars and shit.
I think
Not-
I sat down and told you the story of me sinking the tin. in the
Yeah,
water.
he did all that
Yeah.
shit, and we were like sort of vibing. And then I said, "See you to you boys," and then I think we spent New Year's in Port Mac. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
For my
we went up
birthday,
there for
Drew.
your birthday and
Yeah.
stuff, and Cam was there, and we all had the cars on the beach. And then fast forward, not long after, the boys are obviously doing all the content with the jet ski, the boat, and the wakeboarding and stuff. But then like, oh, we need to do some sort of fishing shit as well. So they sort of just like was like, oh, would you come on a trip and we'll do some fishing content as well? And I was like, fuck yeah, like I'm keen. So we all went to Pebbly with Cody. and filmed for like 3 days and
Great trip.
took Cam and his bloke, got his first fucking good red on a plastic. Jack got his first one. Like we did a bit of fucking beach worming, fucking around and stuff. Had a good time. I went to like pay for some shit and the boys just wouldn't let me pay. So it was like they paid for all the fuel and food and camping and all the rest of it. And then we pretty much shot off overseas.
You
Yeah.
left the week after we got home.
Well,
Well, to be fair, to throw it back to Pebbly, that was like the moment where I seen
Yeah.
we fucking need Trey.
100%.
Trey has to be in
Do you
this
know
pod.
what's funny? Initially, remember, like, I was giving you all my fishing content to use on the page,
From-
but I wasn't in the business.
Yeah,
before.
Really? I don't
I was
remember
given.
that.
I remember being in Mexico and like editing like the GT reel,
Yeah.
the Dewey reel, use the X-mouth footage. You used
Yeah,
all of it on the
wow.
page, but I was like,
Well,
I'm not going in the business.
That
But
was-
use all my shit.
Before
Yeah.
we get into the Mexico, I remember not just proper rigs and all the stuff you had going on beforehand, but even at that Pebbly, I remember because every time we're away, we get balls deep in a business chat, and we're like chatting 10 years into the future and shit. I remember you were not part of the business whatsoever. It was not on your radar, and you were locked in, giving all your advice and knowledge, and like giving your honest opinion, and was so beneficial.
yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Like a
yeah.
couple nights around the campfire, we're having bizzo chats, and you were invaluable.
Yeah,
just off your own back, and we were like, "Holy fuck!"
That's where.
That's when it was like a light bulb.
It was a full light bulb where I was like, oh, fuck. And the other thing was like how he is in front of camera. It was insane. Like,
In where?
on that trip, seeing like talk to the camera, do
The
this, do
presenter.
that. That was when, in my eyes, we needed to go like narrow down the fishing route, and the fishing giveaways were happening at the same time, and they were doing really
They
well.
were doing so well.
Yeah,
they
that's
were
true. Piggyback
really
off
well.
that. At
And-
the time, we're doing the free fishing
Yeah,
pack giveaways,
yeah.
and they were going ballistic, and we sort of not deliberately pigeonholed ourselves into this little niche that was doing really well.
Yeah.
And just ran with it. And then obviously you guys went to Mexico, and then that was a whole can of worms.
Well, we went to Europe for 4 months, and Trey obviously had to sell the cruiser to go on that trip.
Yeah, so at the time I was just finished uni and like fucking was broke pretty
Yeah.
much. Like wasn't working full time, just finished my uni degree, had been working part time, sold my car, went to Europe for 4 months.
And we've jumped into 4 months of Europe.
And like the boys, like the business sort of sat dead for years. I remember
Yeah.
you being furious at Jack because Jack's just living it up. No one's doing fuck all at home.
I wasn't furious because of that. I was furious because of the promises that were made. It was like,
Yeah,
Jack
there was.
Hartman
I'm going to
guarantees
go to
before.
Europe.
It was joust up to the gills.
I'm going to go make fucking heaps of content. There's going to be so many good business opportunities, fucking network, this, content, that. And I'm going, fuck, we were stoked. We were like,
Yeah.
fucking, yeah, bro, fuck.
You get a
Oh,
FaceTime
yeah, I
from
will,
Jack.
heaps, mate.
Just
You get
quickly,
a
but-
FaceTime from Jack. He's shit mixed. He's on a fucking. he's on a fucking like little golf scooter cart thing,
In
like
Mykonos.
zipping around Mykonos,
With
just
his, like, button-up
half-
shirt undone.
Yeah, like unbuttoned. And he's like sort of half-assed, and he's like, yeah, just driving this scooter in Mykonos, and you're like, what the fuck?
Wait, just to say though, that Europe trip was pre-planned before we started the business. I didn't just take
I'll
off,
back you
and
to the
I
hills.
said, "Do we start when I get back?"
I think if you scroll down the LO feed, there's a Europe.
There's
There
like,
is.
Yeah, there's a Europe
That's
thing.
'cause
Trip.
I was
We-
sitting there shit mix going, "Fuck, I need to make a reel for these guys."
And when we went to Europe, Jack brought over LO flags, and we went on like sail week, sail Croatia, like where we just
Yes.
partied flat out for a week, and we fucking flew the LO flag up the mast and like filmed each other jumping off the boat. Like Jack put it in a reel.
Like little doing gainers off the boat, like party time.
Fucking ridiculous.
Couple
like
of asses
drinking
in the shots and shit.
But anyway, I got
do
to it.
you remember the blow up? When
Yeah,
you and
yeah.
I was at your
It was
joint?
on a scooter. It
Yeah,
was on a
it was
fucking
on the
cart.
scooter, yeah.
Full shirt unbuttoned, shit mix. Like, probably sort of lit up at
We-
the time.
I was lit up.
Yeah.
We started to put the heat on Jack about his false promise, and he just fucking hung up on us.
It was pretty funny. It
Gotta
was
go.
a funny
I
blow.
do
Blow up.
remember that.
It
Yeah, he
fu-
was
I
furious.
Fucking going, oh my god.
He was furious too. He was
Yeah.
like, "How about?" I remember even going, "How about you fucking go get
Yeah,
some
how
content,
about you go
stupid
get some
cunts."
fucking content? You got the
Like,
boats
you
and
go
all
do
the
some shit.
I think your exact words were, go put the tinny in the lake, then you stupid cunt.
He sort of has a point though.
Yeah,
like you
I
did
do.
Oh,
nothing.
yeah, 100%.
You were doing fuck all, but I was doing fuck all as well.
Is that when you went to Pilo's?
Nah.
No.
That was way later in the
yeah,
piece.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's sort of happened. Again, I'm still not in the business, but yet I was like sending you all the shit to
Yeah.
post for the fishing
So this
stuff.
is where Jack's little.
So you were getting
Yeah.
used and abused.
This
Well,
is where Joust goes
yeah.
into the dark.
Well, the
Joust
boy-
in the dark
Just in the
starts
dark.
making moves.
He's working in the back end
Yeah.
with Ginzy.
yeah, he's like,
So I fucking because it was going down the fishing route. I was like, I know Trey needs to be in this business.
He became invaluable real
Invaluable.
quick.
The
And
problem
not
was-
just the fishing, but the presenting, like
Yeah,
you said
the
before,
presenting.
and the on camera, like
Yeah.
especially back then, like fucking me. We would try to film something,
Oh, it was fucked.
and it would be hours
early
and hours
days.
of just shit take, forgot the lines, stutter.
She just even get a few words out.
And you would just
eh?
go bang, perfect, like go, ready to go.
The problem was with the whole thing from the start is, Trey, you had no money to
No
chuck
money,
in.
no
Trey had no
financial
money to chuck
position.
in. So I'm fucking trying to convince Trey, I reckon probably 3 months into the trip maybe.
Well, it's hard
Yeah.
to talk about without putting the figure on it, but the three of us had fucking pledged a fucking fair bit of coin
We rinsed
into
ourselves
this business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
massively, and we all sacrificed.
And it was like a conversation that started to happen about Jack wanting Trey in the business, and Gus and I were like, well, fucking he pays his way the same as we did. Like,
Yeah.
you don't know free rides.
But then there
around
was
here.
also like the whole like everyone was like sort of like, oh, now that you got to split profits 4 ways. There was that chat going
Yeah.
on.
Years ago, fuck that.
Obviously,
Yeah.
the boys all have their houses and their cars and fucking this and like established business. I've just finished uni, sold my car, traveling through Europe, no job, no money,
Blowing your car money in Europe.
blowing all the money I have in Europe
Yeah.
with no sign of any return.
And
or
the boys
earnings
know
coming back.
this as well. And I'm
Yeah.
going back to the boys saying, I reckon we...
Well, yeah,
Trey.
there was a massive like at one point you're in after Europe you went to Mexico.
Yeah,
on a
which
fishing
we
trip,
weren't even meant to
which you then
fucking do.
extended another 2 weeks, and at this point you had Trey like on his heels
Yeah.
about caving.
I'll remember the conversation pretty distinctively because I rang my dad and I was like, "This is the go. Like, what the fuck?
looking for a bit of advice.
What do you reckon?"
Yeah.
And like normally your parents are very conservative, I reckon, and they like tell you like they play it
Yeah,
safe.
play it safe.
Dad's like,
Go and
"Fuck
buy
it."
a house, son. Go and buy
Yeah,
a
like
house.
don't do that. Like
Yeah.
don't take a business loan. Don't do this. Like play it safe. And Dad's like, "No, fuck it." He's like, "Look, you know, he's like, oh look, son. I reckon in the grand scheme of things, and he's
It's nothing.
fuck.
No,
I
you can
should've
say
said the
that. You
number.
can say that. Fuck
Did
it.
I say that?
Nah,
number?
don't. We'll cut
That out.
Yeah.
Anyway, in the grand scheme of things, X amount of dollars is not a lot of money. Like if this is an opportunity that takes off, and I was sitting there thinking, like I could be on this boat now, but if it goes, I'm out. Like
Yeah.
I'm not going to get my
Yeah.
opportunity with it. And it was all the steps were starting to get taken, and so it was like, yeah, right, I'm doing it. Told Jack I was in. Boys are still heaps skeptical because at the same time we
Well,
didn't even fucking really know each other that
yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Shout out to Shay Carson as well, legend.
Well, that was the
Thanks,
shift.
thanks for making the difference.
Not that we've really fucking like.
How's it turned out for you?
Well,
Give
fuck, man.
You
If
given up
you could rewind and not do it,
Holy
Would you do it?
shit. No.
I don't think
I
you
wouldn't.
would.
It's given me a lot of purpose, but like, fuck, I'd be in a different place in life without it. In terms of like, I'd probably own a house maybe. Just say it's probably not.
No
actually.
way.
no, you wouldn't.
Fuck off, I would.
No
you
way.
wouldn't.
I don't 3, mate.
No, you wouldn't. You'd
And
be
I
in
have-
Europe fucking dicking around again.
Yeah, well, that'd be fun too. But yeah, anyway, would it? No, I
Gus,
wouldn't.
Gus and I are in talks back at home. Jack's like, righto, Trey's on board. He doesn't have the coin. He's going to have to come home, get a loan, get his shit together.
Yeah, Jack's this middleman of lies.
No, I was
so we would be going, Jack, fuck him. He has to pay at the
No,
time.
hang on. I reckon you didn't say you were still on the fence, and you were like, I don't know.
Yeah,
And
you
I
were.
was just going,
To be
boys.
fair, we had
I
a
was
yarn
like,
with you,
I was
yeah.
like, boys, Trey is in. I was
Hey,
like,
well-
he's in, and these boys are going to me. Fuck no.
Well, at
they're
the-
like, we're not taking another cut. Fuck that. He can come on trips, and I'd go back to Trey.
Yeah,
I
the
was like,
boys are
Trey,
okay. The
bro,
boys are locked
Boys,
in.
they love you,
So
mate.
okay. Well, at the time too, I might add, like say figure X is what we all put in.
Yeah.
In our like in hindsight now, you could have bought in for less because it fucking went to shit. But at the time, we were thinking, righto, you want to buy in now when we're committed to X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
It's double it. You know what I mean? Like buying is gone through the roof,
Yeah.
which it had not. And, and
It's
you're
going
like,
double.
yeah, your like negotiating point was figure X, which is even Stevens.
Yeah.
And you're going to us, and we're like, fuck, like, nah, it needs to be more. He needs to deliver this. And you're going to him being like, yeah, bro, it's sweet. Like, you don't have to do fuck all. They're like so keen. And you were just going back and forth with lies.
Yeah. I just went
Which
just
you
in the
claimed,
dark.
just in the dark, your master plan. You had the vision
bro.
in the future of us just
Yeah.
coming to a point.
Exactly.
And then sure enough, not planned by you, complete fluke, fuck you. At the Bar Beach Bolo when you got home, run us through that whole rundown.
Oh, this is a fuck
business meeting.
organised a dinner where like we all get together and Trey like says
There's
his
a pitch.
point, and he pitches, and the boys have come back with like what they think. Meanwhile, I've been telling them both what they want to fucking hear for the last 2 months straight.
Gus and I pretty much sat down and went,
Fuck him.
figure X in fucking like a month max, or fuck off, mate.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah. So Trey sits down.
And he's like, I can't, mate.
I just said no.
Yeah.
Well, before we had like a 2-hour chat, sharing our ideas, like laid out the whole next 5 years of the business. And then at the end of it, you were like, yeah, but essentially I just can't do it.
He like sounds
And we were
unreal,
like-
boys. I'd love to do it, but sorry, can't afford it. No. And then you boys go,
Fuck.
We were like,
I was so caught off
fucking dare
guard.
you? Yeah.
I thought we were going to be on the defense. And then he was like, no. And I didn't know what to do. And we were like, well, hang on. Before you say no, hang on. Whoa,
Can we
whoa,
make this
whoa.
work?
Like,
and then
come
it
on.
just changed to like,
Please,
I'll
please.
front you 50%.
Trey,
Yeah,
please.
that's right.
yeah.
I'll front you 50% of figure X, and you can just have like 2 years to get me the rest.
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
Like,
Did,
Get it,
that
mate.
end up happening?
Did you ever pay it back?
No, like I know I paid
No,
my,
you
but like
ended
did
up-
people you just kept putting money sort of in,
Well,
and
you
then I
took
just threw.
when did you take? You took a personal loan and you paid your debt, but that was
paid
like
his debt,
a couple
yeah.
months.
Yeah, it was at least probably 3 months after.
I reckon it was like 6 months after.
I would
Was it?
think at
It
that
was, yeah, it
point
was like
we
6
probably
months.
still had a business nest egg, wouldn't we?
Yeah, we were cash.
We were,
we were
dipping
cashed.
into it, but we were cashed up,
We were
like,
cashed
up,
from
yeah.
our initial
Yeah.
figure X's.
Yeah.
We were nest egging
we
hard.
had a serious
Nearly
nest.
harder than Camo.
Nah, God no.
So
But
yeah,
you
then
were
that,
like,
that meeting come in of like righto, and the boys were pretty much like, "No, you need the money," and then I was like, "Yeah, well, I can't do it, so let's just no." And
Yeah.
then it was just like
we're like
full role reversal. It was
begging
like, oh,
you,
fuck,
please,
well,
Trey.
actually,
Like, how can we make it work? We need you, please. Like,
We'll
can
give
we
you the
pay,
money.
Can
Yeah.
we pay you?
yeah. And I think
We'll
I was
pay you
even going
figure
like,
X.
"No, I just can't
And
do
you're
it."
like, no, fuck
Can't
off.
do it. And then I think Cam's like, I wanted in like 2 months. I was like, nah. And they're like, well, what if we do this? And then it's like 6 months. And then it sort of it went on.
We sort of, it didn't even, I don't think it ended that night. I think it was a bit of a,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it sort of
was.
just fizzled into you agreeing without ever agreeing.
The
And it
funniest
just-
thing
now
about
we're
it was
here.
going into the dinner. You cunts
Yeah,
going,
you know what's
you
going to
cunts
go
going-
down. And you just
I
playing
know,
it.
and you, Jay's going, yeah, like I'm pretty keen. These boys are going, that cunt needs a fucking contract. He needs to state when he's paying, what he's paying, this, that. I'm going, oh, mate, he's all over
With
it.
the interest. Yeah, me and Cam had a pre-game meeting in the car, and it was like, fuck him. He can get fucked. And then you're telling Trey, like, the boys can't wait to hear ideas,
Oh,
mate.
mate.
Like, we're so excited.
But I knew, like, fuck, man, he needed to be a part of it, and it just shows
Joust in the
today.
dark.
Like, you're Trias in the dark, and
Full
Trias,
joust in the dark.
Oh.
Trias is the face of the operation, and as he should be.
Yeah, the whole presenter aspect is like,
Well, that was
especially
probably
down the
the-
route. We started over here, and just by trial and error, we ended up in this new age sort of content and whatever, which is nowhere near what we were doing, and it's like been
Yeah,
massively led by you.
it's a pretty cool little
Dynamic
story.
But now it's just
Yeah.
like now because we took down that route, I feel like you've made somewhat of an impact or relationship on an audience and stuff, and like people know
Yeah.
you for who you are. People know who you are. They might listen to our podcast. They might listen to something they know, like our personality traits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like bumping into a few people more recently, like in random places, and they know who you are from the shit. It's so funny.
It's pretty cool.
Because
Is
initially they'll be like, oh yeah, and you're just like just a normal hello, and then they're like, oh, like a fucking, I know you shit.
Yeah.
You're like, oh fuck, hey bro.
Yeah, it's crazy. And the thing that blows my mind is, even with me and you, like, me and you only met each other, let's say 4 years ago.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
we, and obviously best mates and have been since we sort of met. But same with me and Ches. Me and Ches have probably known each other for three and a half years. Me and Gussie for a little bit longer. But all of us as a group have only known each other for 3 years. And that,
if that,
like,
Yeah,
I
if
don't
that, yeah.
even think that long.
but that relationship between everyone and as a group, like, has been accelerated by 1,000
Yeah.
because of this. And now, hence, we're all like fucking brothers. Like, it's like,
Yeah.
you argue, you fucking, you have your blow ups about business stuff, but at the end of the day, you're
Yeah,
so
like
close.
like most of the time, it's just us trying to make Gus realise he's wrong.
yeah,
which is a feat.
But 2 years from
Because
now,
I'm fucking
we'll
always
realise
right.
he was
And we'll
right.
come full circle and we'll be going, oh, wish we listened to Gus, and I'll be sitting there going, you're a fucking idiot. But no, you're right. The business has like accelerated the relationships times 1,000.
Oh,
and then
sure.
like you look back to that that was less than 2 years ago. We had
It
that
feels like
meeting
a
at the
lifetime.
bolo. Like, look where we're sitting now.
Yeah.
That's no
And it's
exaggeration.
Like, we're sitting
when
in
you
our
say
shed. There's a
and
huge
lifetime.
fucking boat there. There's like,
For me, one of the like light bulb things with that was like New Year's. Like,
Yeah, that was pretty wholesome.
you
mate.
know, like
Yeah,
we
there
didn't
was-
know each other 3 years ago. And
It was
now
like
New
there's
Year's.
no place I'd rather be. There's no one
Yeah.
else I'd rather be with.
My-
And we've known each other for
like I
fucking
fucking
5
love
years.
you, bro.
My
I
fucking
love you.
25th birthday. We're all fucking palms with all the girls as well, which is so wholesome. It was fucking sick. It was really sick.
Are we segueing? No, we're not segueing.
Into
Nah.
Can we?
Is it a separate topic
What
for
are you
future
talking
day?
about?
What?
For the recce?
Yeah, that's what I thought you were.
Into what happened to you?
Yeah. Or is that, or is that
yeah,
another
bro.
route? Is
Yeah,
that another
bro,
route?
No,
No,
let's touch on that.
I'm
Can we-
saying the bare truth.
Can we tip? No.
Yes, I am.
Can we
I'm
tiptoe
like
around?
our
No.
audience. We're transparent with our
yeah,
audience.
let it
Oh,
rip.
You're
yeah.
not gonna if you're
No,
gonna
I
tiptoe
can't, I
around
can't, I
it.
can't.
Don't tell them.
All right. Well, then we
Like,
Why'd
what are
you
you
bring
what,
that
what are you
up?
gonna say to him? Oh, Gus got what? No,
compromised.
Yeah,
we've
right.
already
Yeah.
spoke about that.
I can't.
We had a whole episode.
If you're
on
going to
that.
talk on it, we need to
Right.
go into detail.
Yeah.
We'll
Well,
save it. We'll keep it in the back pocket.
Right.
So you're never ever going to address it.
I will one day, but not. It's not today.
It's not going to be relevant in the future.
It's not. I can't go into exact detail today.
Gus come face to face with a very important
No,
TV
cheers,
personality.
cheers, cheers.
Well, hold
We'll
on to
back
it.
pocket
So
it.
if we're
Nah,
going to do it,
nah.
we might need to
Do
get
it
I
properly.
thought we could tiptoe.
We'll
it
see
out.
where this podcast goes in the future. Maybe
Yeah.
someone like signs us and we go full rogue on it. We
Yeah,
can be
yeah.
really transparent, and
Yeah.
then we can. But until that point, we'll just keep it.
Fizz fucking sign us. What can't? But going back to jeez, it's a nice wall there. Going back to
Gussie.
going back to fucking when we
I'm stopping the potty here.
when
eh?
you're talking about us fucking accelerating the relationship, I almost reckon it's a bit of a blessing in disguise how it wasn't established before this, because you almost form a relationship as like you're a work friend rather than your friend and then work. You know, like I mean that in a nice way. Like, you know, when you I don't know, when you make a friend at work that becomes your close work friend, it's like you will fucking argue. Like we argue.
What are you
to the
talking about,
fuck.
bro?
I'm
Oh
saying
my
it's a
God.
good thing. Like
I've
it's like a
lost that.
work relationship. Like we will argue.
I just
like,
heard the word like about 100 times. I'm
we will
lost.
argue over 1,000 things. Like we'll be screaming at each other and shit here, and then you go home and you fucking it has nothing to do with your personal
Yeah,
relationship.
you got to separate
like
the
it's a
two.
business. Like we
Business
argue
relationship.
fucking massively.
Well, you used to
but it
argue
doesn't
fucking
taint-
100 times over the weekend, didn't it?
But it doesn't fuck your friendship. Like
Yeah.
it's a work thing. I don't know.
100%. It just is.
It's-
That's exactly
But
what
like
it is.
that
going
whole
down a rabbit
fucking
hole.
setup can just be skipped when you just fucking listen to me in the first place.
Yes, you're wrong though.
Like fuck, mate.
Cheers.
Honestly,
I think everyone's just a bit stubborn. Like when a lot of the time now we've gotten to a point where you just won't change each other's minds. So there's a 0 point in trying to.
who's?
I would like you
1 to
like
4.
to, you like to think that I'm real stubborn,
I'm not far behind you.
but I think
I'm the least stubborn.
I think
Easy.
I'm actually really open-minded, and I think you are. I think you're the most stubborn who I've ever known. To the point where, if you are in bed when we're meant to be up fishing at 5 a.m. and I'm saying, "Ches, get out of bed, we're late," because I've said that, you will lie in bed for another 20 minutes.
He's not
It's
right.
true.
Yeah, he's
and
right.
if I say, "Ches, come on, let's go," we're going to be late, you will deliberately take another 10 minutes.
Oh,
He's-
actually,
you-
no. There is
And
a
I
you
think it's a subconscious
Be
thing.
in control.
I think it's actually you don't intend it, but I fully agree with you.
Last
maybe.
weekend, I was trying to get you out of bed.
Keep pointing
At
at me
the-
like that. Break finger.
Mate, last weekend, I was trying to get you out of bed at the agreed upon time.
Is this the smoothie thing?
I said, "Ches,
Yeah.
get up, get up, get up, get up." Nothing. I said, "Cam, I'm going to get a coffee. Do you want anything?" You said, "Yeah, get me a piccolo and a banana mango smoothie." I fucking went across the road, got you a piccolo and a smoothie, brought them back. You didn't fucking touch them. We went for a surf, came back. You still hadn't touched them.
Still asleep?
Oh, and he not touched him still.
Was he still asleep?
No, he was up.
Oh,
I smoked the piccolo and about
Cheers.
30% of the
He had to
smoothie.
be up though because it was about
he had to
11:30 on a beautiful
he had
Sunday.
to get
it
up
was
on his-
11:30.
Yeah, like I picked
He
Gus
had to
up
get
at
up
like
on his own
8:30, 9
terms.
o'clock on Sunday, sunny as beautiful day.
I'm not gonna lie. I was just trying to avoid the whole surfing situation
No, Chaz.
because I don't want to buy.
Why ask for the piccolo and the smoothie?
Like,
I
just
actually
stay
did smoke the
asleep.
piccolo. It was fucking delicious.
But yeah, I actually do. I think there's a subconscious thing in you where you don't like being told what to do, even if
God,
it's
no.
just bare minimums like, "Hey, Ches, get up," or "Hey, let's
I've
do
had
this."
this conversation with you before, like about I have a massive issue with
Yeah,
authority. Like,
but it goes as far as the littlest things, like, "Hey, we need to get up."
It's like-
You're like, "No."
fuck off, mate.
You're waiting at fucking 5:30 in the freezing cold,
Yeah,
and
I'm
you're
still
in bed
asleep.
asleep.
See, I heard about that, and I actually said to him, "I was like, that's not on,"
Yeah, well, that's
because he
well,
said Jack just fucking took off, and I was like,
You're in the
"Why?"
wrong.
I was
And he's like
furious.
20 minutes late. I was like,
He wasn't.
Sort of get it.
The thing that fucked me was I called him, and I'm there 5:30, fucked from the Bucks.
Yeah, freezing
so
cold.
fucked, and I'm like, and he's like, hello. I was like, are you in bed? He's like, I'm leaving now. I just said, don't bother. I'm leaving. And I
That's
hung
exactly what he said.
up. Yeah, I hung up, and I just fucked off.
I don't blame him. I'll be
To
honest.
be fair, though, you know deep down, when I know I'm wrong, I will apologise every
He
day
Know
of the week.
you?
He did.
Every day of the week.
He sent me a message saying,
Yeah, 4 hours
But at
later,
the- no,
after me and Trey
in-
told him he was in the wrong.
in the heat of the moment, you sent me a message.
You're a child.
Yeah, I said
You
there's
said-
still 40 minutes
Yeah.
till sunrise.
He sent me a message and he's like, fuck you, fuck this, don't act like a child, hang up on me. I said, don't act like a fucking child and wake up to your fucking alarm. And then like an hour later he says, fair enough, Jess. Sorry, bro. I was like, thank you.
Nautical Dawn Butt would have already been in.
Oh,
Gone.
nautical would have
So
been
you-
years ago.
Astronomical, not nautical.
But it
What
would have
about
been
civil?
It would have been. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jack. Was there a little bit of light when you were there?
Yeah, that.
Yes.
No,
at
there
Yes,
was.
there was because
yeah.
we got up and there was.
No, not at
5:30.
Not at 5:30 there wasn't.
Lies.
But 5:45 was.
That's-
But he didn't get down there till
But we're
when?
still
That's Resi
walking
Dawn.
down. You still
I
got to
was-
walk down
Yeah.
from.
Yeah,
still gotta
you got to
get
cut
out
all
there.
that out too.
So
Or we
Ches-
just see what we just
yeah,
talked about.
Kobe.
You got to cut all that out.
Ches discovered a whole
Just
fucking.
beat the.
Just beep the
Dawn.
word. Yeah.
There's 7 different dawns.
God,
And
there's some-
I was arguing with you, and turns out you were right on this one. There was
Like fucking usual.
This needs to stop. This potty. Yeah, I'm gonna put it. I'm gonna.
Okay.
This is unreal. I
No.
love- This is unreal.
I'm going. We had an argument. Ches is going. Nautical dawn is at this time, and I'm looking at the fucking weather app, going, Cam, it's at fucking this time, and he's going, no, it's not. That's fucking Gigatron dawn. I'm talking about
Astronomical
nautical dawn,
Yeah.
and I'm going, you're an idiot. Dawn is at this time, and he's like, we'll trial it. We'll get up, and there was like 5 different dawns, and it was like,
yeah.
you're
Just
right. It
bang
was
on the money.
like so much before first light on the weather apps was some little like
First light, civil dawn.
cracking through. What's
Yeah.
the medium one?
Which is
Nautical
like Civil
Dawn.
Dawn is like there's like a fucking bit
There's
of
heaps
light.
of
eh?
light,
Like
yeah.
it's fully light.
Like
You
it's
don't even
fully
need a
lit up.
torch or anything.
Nautical dawn is like where, say, like you're offshore on like a boat or something. You can make out the headlands, but you can still see the stars.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
there's astronomical dawn. There's actual degrees with it, but anyway.
Donskis.
Um,
Segment.
Segment time.
Fuck, there's some editing to do on this podcast.
You
In this episode, there's so much shit that's got to be removed. Bit of a rogue episode. Gas, fuck off with the buttons, mate. You never get it right. It's the yellow one, mate.
Yellow, you're colorblind.
It's fucking.
They're both green shirts.
It's yellow.
Come on.
Wow, look at that. It's fucking yellow.
That is green.
That's green.
They're both green.
No.
That's dark green. That's
I
light
think that's
green.
yellow as well.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought that's yellow.
Don't
See,
fucking
Gus,
jump on
the
his side.
fucking sooner you
That
listen
is
to me-
fucking green.
Jumping on his side, it's just easy
It
yellow.
is
It's green.
Pull your
You're telling me that's
fucking head
fucking
in.
yellow.
It's
That's
yellow.
yellow. Yeah.
Same colour as the fizz can. That's passion fruit. For fuck's sake.
That
Pull your
is
head in,
fucking
mate.
green. I'll go to a poll. Would you rather, Jack? This is more aimed at you because you go on a lot of dates. But I want everyone's answer. You can never speak to any boys again via like speak words.
To a boy.
Any male, you can't speak to him.
Like
Yeah.
in the flesh, but you can like.
No, like you can sign language. You
Can you message?
You can message them.
Yeah.
You cannot speak. I can't
Can't
speak.
ring
to
him
you.
on the phone. Can't
Yeah,
FaceTime.
you just can't speak to him in
In
person.
person.
In
Yeah.
person. Okay.
Ring him, message him,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
You can't speak to him. Or you can never make eye contact with a female ever again.
I would never make eye contact with a female ever. again.
Really?
Yeah, bruh. There's nothing that gets you going more than speaking to the boys, like in person.
That
So
is
you're
the
going on-
blokiest thing anyone.
It is
has
the
ever
pinnacle,
said.
though. It is
so
the
you're
pinnacle.
going on a date and you're just like this, staring at your feet. Just going,
I just
yeah,
wouldn't
so
date anymore. I
Where,
would never
so
date.
where are you from? Oh, yeah.
It would
I would
be
never date
It would
again.
be hard to never have an interaction
Ever.
with
It'd
a
be
bloke.
imagine never
It'd
talking
also
to one
be
of the
near on
boys.
impossible. But you could
Well, you
almost
can
have a
call 'em.
relationship
You can
without.
message 'em.
You could have a relationship without eye contact.
But we could never do this again.
We could. We'd just be like messaging and shit.
No, like this
Well, yeah,
podcast.
you
could
could
never.
Well, we could call you in. You could be at home.
Well, you said
on
you can
speaker.
call. Technically, you could do this through the mics. It's the same thing.
Nah,
Yeah.
that's a
But,
cheat.
like, we
That's
couldn't
cheat.
be in the car talking. You'd have to be texting me.
I would
Oh,
have
no,
to-
I've sort of had a gut full of you, so I'm pretty
Chaz,
hungry. So I'm
look at
gonna
his-
I'm gonna
look at
wrap
him
this
go.
up.
No,
I'm
you're
gonna wrap
not
it up.
wrapping it up.
I'm
You're
wrapping
not
it
wrapping
up.
it up. We're not
Everyone,
finished the segment, Chaz. We're
We
not
got the
finished
two.
the segment. I
quick,
might
3,
hear
2,
their
1, Jack, give us your
answers.
answer. Quick go.
I am never looking at a chick.
Right, guys, shut up.
I'll
Chaz, no, give me your answer.
I think
You're not
I'll
wrapping
agree
it
with
up.
Jack.
Oh, I thought that was just for Jack.
No, I
it's
said
for everyone.
everyone.
give him the fucking answer,
Answer,
Chaz.
Chaz.